With its generous proportions and commanding views from the city to the Magaliesberg, this home earns its protected heritage status through style as much as age. The new owners, together with landscape designer Gregory Mark, invested their energies in reimagining both the house and gardens.
Now you're working with a really iconic heritage site here, so what were some of the challenges when it came to landscaping?
Well, our reference point really was the trees. We started off with the beautiful, big, iconic trees that were part of this property, and we stripped it down from there and created various garden rooms, which I think have worked beautifully. Originally, this was the tennis court. It's now been changed to a modern lap pool, Olympic-sized, with stopwatch, and it works really well with the modern summer house, and the garden that surrounds it is still classical.
These modern interiors in the summer house put you firmly in the present, looking back to the home from an age-long past, combining the best of both worlds.
You mentioned the word rooms. I can tell you're a true landscaper. You're actually referring to the different levels of the garden spaces you've been working with, right?
Correct, and enclosing a space and creating a room in the garden.
There are few better ways to clear your head or walk out your thoughts than a stroll through these terraces.
Did you have some kind of a reference to work with about what the garden used to look like and then work from there?
Definitely. Well, what you see here now, this home had about 5 different owners who'd added to everything over the years. There was very different plant material. There was actually a tropical look here with palms and a rock pool. And that look did not suit the architecture. So it was somewhat of a restoration, I would call it, where we went for a more formalized garden with classical lines. You know, you've got this beautiful reflection pond in the middle of this rose garden and roses, good old-fashioned Joburg plants.
The hedges have come into their own, and this significant landscaping project now looks as if it has always been part of the home.
Apparently at the top there you raised that level 12 meters to maximize the view. That's another area where you've done a lot of work.
That was a collaboration with JVR, and it's an engineering feat. By creating that platform in front of the house, we've maximized those gorgeous views of Joburg. And I mean, that space originally just fell away about 10 meters lower than what it is now. And in that space, I've used some roses, a very special rose, the Moshe Kirsch rose, and it's a great hybrid. It's kept all of its foliage in the middle of winter. It's full of flowers, and it takes you around to a potager garden at the back of the house off the kitchen. And now it's a beautiful herb garden with an olive grove, and it's a great space for entertaining. It's got cafe tables and chairs under a beautiful pergola, and a bath that we fill up with drinks when we're entertaining.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to head up now and chat to Joe about the house, and we'll catch up with you later.
Great, I'll see you in the garden for tea.
Cheers.
The owner liked the challenge of a renovation, which had to respect the existing structure. To help her, she had a restoration specialist in architect Joe van Rooyen.
So this house is called Castle Ridge, and it's a real icon in the Joburg landscape.
It is. It was designed in 1927 by Stuckey and Robertson, and the house is quite important in the landscape. What is great about it, it's designed for its context, and that's quite apparent. As you drive in through the driveway, the house kind of reveals itself quite beautifully through the garden. But also more important is how the house is positioned on the ridge. This is the highest point of the Westcliff Ridge, and the house was designed to fit into its context. They used this beautiful sandstone that was actually quarried on the site to form the base of it, and then they've used beautiful brown face brick, and the house actually fits well on the ridge, but more important, in between the existing buildings as well.
This is not your first time working on a heritage building. What were some of the things that you could do and couldn't do when it came to working on the house?
Yeah, it's not our first building, and it's quite important that you literally just engage and find out as much as possible about the history of the house. People are sometimes scared about heritage properties or heritage homes, but there's a magic in that, and especially Joburg. We've got these amazing houses.
On walking into the entrance hall, the family's likeness of being is immediately established.
This is a lovely welcome here by a dancing Madiba and Desmond Tutu.
It's a friendly welcome, hey? You can literally see as we enter the formal entrance hall, and other timber panning literally wraps us around, and we painted that just to give it a little bit more of a contemporary feel. But it kind of accentuates this existing marble floor that we literally just brought back to life. And one of my favorite things is this beautiful vaulted arched ceiling. such an elegant curve, and that kind of pulls you through to that main stairwell. I would like to show you that.
Cool.
Quite interesting is this little cutout heart. We never could figure out when and where and how, but it adds quite a certain charm to.
So that was there already, the heart?
That was there already, and it's quite an unusual feature in a heritage house like this.
That's the great thing about heritage homes, is it's got all these beautiful little touches that you can keep, and especially the scale and the volume of these places. I mean, the height of the ceilings and the arches is just incredible.
That's just the beauty and kind of the surprise when you come around the corner.
Absolutely. Well, let's change things up a bit, because these hearts are intriguing me. I think we should head upstairs first as opposed to looking at the bottom of the house.
Show you.
How about it?
Restoring the staircase and floors also preserves the legacy of the original owners, timber merchants who lived here for decades.
It wouldn't be a heritage home without the creaky old wooden floors, right?
That's heritage. But what is quite amazing is that we have a pair of matching pendants in the house. They're alabaster. They're actually all existing fittings, and that is quite rare.
Most furniture, like the French armoire, was bought or restyled for the house.
This is our main bedroom.
Oh, wow. There's that view we were talking about. You don't get any higher than this in Westcliff.
It really takes your breath away, and you must see the jacarandas in summer. The view is just amazing.
That's unbelievable.
We did a lot of work on the ceilings, so you see that there's quite a bit of detailing on the ceilings, and we kind of just pulled that detailing through, restored the bay window ceiling, which was quite a nice feature, and then replaced a lot of the timber floors. So what we did upstairs was combine a lot of small rooms into bigger rooms. So again, you need bigger spaces in modern day living and not all these small little warrant rooms. And then this feature was this amazing fireplace. It was here. What we just inserted a new unit into that old fire.
You really can't beat those old school fireplaces there.
Let me show you this. How many bathrooms has got a fireplace right in the bathroom?
That's so cool. It continues to this side.
This was one of the original baths in the house. So we reconditioned that and serviced that, and it's quite nice that it's part of the history of the house, and just in a new position, it's quite amazing. That vanity, we use quite a beautiful old school Carrera marble, and that kind of just brings a natural component and a palette to the bathroom. So I think it's important, the combining of the old and the new, respecting the old but bringing in the new.
Absolutely. And you've even got an old Persian rug in here. It's the coziest bathroom in Joburg, literally.
A hot bath in here is a 1920s time capsule, while descending for breakfast or dinner brings you into a warm, updated family room.
So we created this quite a light, airy space by combining two existing rooms. We just opened up between the two rooms by making the fireplace the feature, and then doing new doors onto the east garden. So you get that beautiful morning light, and you can actually sit in the kitchen now and eat, and then that leads to that beautiful kitchen with the argyle.
There is more classic Carrara marble in the countertops, while the 30s era cooker brings a farmhouse atmosphere and warmth to the updated cabinetry and kitchen tiling.
This is a great example of some of the challenges you must have had, because the older houses were very closed off, the rooms were quite small, so you had to knock down a lot of walls to open it up like this and make it more modern.
A lot of small dark rooms, and we don't live like that anymore. So the secret is to combine spaces and to get as much natural light into this. I mean, this is perfect. East light, you can do homework here, you can have breakfast, and everything kind of happens in this space.
And then there's the formal dining room.
Joe, I know this is your favorite spot.
It is indeed. I mean, how elegant is that ceiling? The way that it kind of spans from side to side, and the side windows just elegantly cut into that. I mean, the craftsmanship and the detailing is really, for an architect, quite special, and just the thought of the detailing is quite breathtaking.
Yeah, they don't build houses like they used to. I love this twist on the dining room table, a nice little cozy couch instead.
Why not? You know, you have to be comfortable. Yeah. So, and it's a nice contrast, the modern table and this quite a over-the-top old school couch, yeah, you know, so you can either do homework or you can sleep.
Lavish mustard and blue velvet around a black steel table. Charcoal grey wood panelling, shutters, and the unusual choice of an artwork hung in tapestry style all invite you to touch as much as look.
Leading off my favorite space, we've got the formal lounge and the same detailing. You know, that beautiful curved ceiling, the windows that kind of tuck into that. And what we did here is we When we created the lawn, we thought, well, now we've got to link this with that outside space. We created new French doors inside the old openings, and that now links that space to that lawn terrace we created.
For Gregory, Joe and the owners, this is the result of restoration as much as rejuvenation. They researched photographs from the daughter of previous owners who enjoyed growing up here, and within what heritage allowed, backed their own vision.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for showing me around. You've really done a fantastic job continuing the legacy of this grand old dame.
Well, an absolute pleasure. Johannesburg has got quite a history of beautiful homes and beautiful gardens, and when you have a team assembled that's got the same idea about design and principles, it makes it so much easier.
Especially on a project of this size, and I love how the project has come together, and it's really created a space that the client enjoys and her family.
In a virtual world of 5G and the Internet of Things, there remains a place for beautiful structures built by hand to last for centuries.